Hi everybody, welcome to Dr. Pete's Happy Kitchen. Now, our recipe today is absolutely delicious, it's fantastic for health, it's good for your joints, it's a family favourite, and it's even got some immune boosting stuff in here as well. So the recipe today is fantastic family chili. The twist on today is we're going to serve it with a cauliflower rice. If you haven't cooked cauliflower rice, it's very, very easy to do, it's incredibly quick, absolutely delicious, and a piece of cake to get the kids to eat as well, get some extra benefits in there as well. And then it's rich in chilies, spices and herbs today to make sure that we get all the good anti-inflammatories, antioxidants that we could possibly need to keep us as healthy as possible. And it's fast as well. The whole thing only takes about 5 minutes of prep time, about 10 minutes of cooking time where you have to actually do anything, and again, just an hour on the stove and then it's done for you. So we're going to begin by browning 800 grams of beautiful grass-fed beef. So let's get this one in. All we do is just pop this in a nice hot pan, let it sizzle away for a few minutes. While our mince is browning away nicely, we're going to add some extra spices to it to give it an absolutely incredible flavour. So today we're going to use some star anise, absolutely beautiful flavour. So we're just going to pop those straight in the pan whole. You don't crush star anise, otherwise it becomes incredibly overpowering. So just pop it in the pan, it's just going to sizzle away with the mince nicely. We've also got 3 different types of chilies. We've got some ancho chilies, some chipotle chilies, and some regular red chili flakes. And then we've got some cumin seeds as well. So we're going to get that straight in the pan so that heats up too. Wonderful. And turn that up. Now, the next thing we need to do while our mince is browning is we need to look at the ingredients for the rest of the chili. Fresh ingredients, organic ingredients where possible are so important because then you get the added health benefits with them as well. So we've got a couple of onions, we've got some red bell peppers, and then we've got some celery in there. So once the mince is browned, we're going to take the mince out of the pan and we're just going to stick it to one side, and then we're going to gently soften our vegetables in some olive oil. We've also got to add to this, for some amazing flavour, 3/4 of a bulb of garlic. It's quite a lot of garlic. We've just minced it down to release all the flavour. We've got some oregano, some smoked paprika, some cumin seed, some coriander, and a little bit of cinnamon, just a teaspoon of cinnamon, just to give it some extra depth to the flavour. I want to talk a little bit about the beans we use in this recipe. Now, legumes and beans contain an ingredient called lectin, and lectin can make them pretty hard to digest for some people. There's a bit of controversy about whether they're good for us or not. We think that the benefits of the low fat, the really, really good fibre in them, the great taste of course, and the energy they provide is well worth adding to your meal. But we do tend to recommend you buy either tinned beans or you soak them and cook them for a good while before you use them. And when we do use them in our recipes, we also tend to cook them for a little bit longer than we would if it didn't have beans in as well. We're using cannellini beans, slightly lower in lectin. Kidney beans, the normal chili recipe, is quite high in this stuff. But we find that this way is really well absorbed, really well digested, and most people just enjoy the flavour and they don't have any downsides to it. So all good chilies tend to have beans in them, but we'll just use cannellini beans today instead. Right, so it's been about 7-8 minutes and we've been cooking these vegetables down, so they're just sweated nicely. All those beautiful spices, herbs and seasoning in there, so colours look absolutely fantastic and the smell is amazing. Let's pop in these beans as well. That's great. And then we're just going to give those a little stir. Fantastic. And now we're going to add the tomatoes. So just nice organic tomatoes with a couple of tablespoons of tomato puree added in there as well. That's wonderful. Get those in. And we're just going to bring the temperature back up again and just simmer that nice and gently for 5 minutes. Great. So we just left that simmering for 5 minutes, so it's warming through and bubbling nicely, and then we're going to add the mince and some beef stock. In our case, we're using a beef that we made from bone broth ourselves, but a really good quality beef stock or a stock cube will work just fine as well. So if we pop that in, that's wonderful. And then we're just going to add this delicious browned beef. Now at this point, you keep the star anise in the pan, and I'm going to come to that in a second. That's great. Let's get all of that beautiful taste in there. Now, stir this through. The star anise is one ingredient that you must remember to take out, because there's going to be nothing real into chili like one of your guests, one of your family members picking it up and chewing that out. So don't forget to take the star anise out of the pan later. It's been simmering away for 10 minutes now. It's bubbling away nicely. The smell is fantastic. And we just need to grab the final ingredient into the actual chili itself, which is some fresh herb. We're using some lovely fresh coriander today. So we're using a big handful, I guess about 3 tablespoons. That's absolutely wonderful. And not only to give it a really fresh, clean taste, but it's also another powerhouse of vitamins and minerals in there as well. So that's great. So what we're going to do now is cover that with a lid, and we're just going to leave it to sit there, gently bubbling away for an hour while we get started with the cauliflower rice. And we have an absolutely incredible smelling, absolutely delicious, nutritious, healthy chili con carne with cauliflower rice. Let's see how it tastes. Amazing. It's rich. It's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of heat to it, but just mild warmth. You can just taste a little bit of garlic in there, but again, not too much. The rice is nutty, absolutely beautiful, incredibly healthy for you. Delicious, cheap, easy, chili con carne with cauliflower rice.